Whew. I got to see Tony early, kind of. I got to see it at the Monday Mystery Movie at Regal, though this has had a limited release at some select theaters. It has not had an official release yet. Tony is a sort of biopic. From my understanding, it's a lot of it is not true, but that's, I mean, any dramatization, that's very common, but major plot elements of this are a dramatization, not accurate of our protagonist's life. This film is about Anthony Bourdain, the famous chef who you've probably heard of. I had heard of him, but if you had asked me who he was, I couldn't tell you. I would have just been like, I've heard that name before. And that's the exact reaction I had when I saw the first trailer for this. And they do that name drop at the end. This is from the same director as Blackberry, a film I found absolutely hysterical, and Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, a comedy I have only heard great things about, but unfortunately missed in theaters and have not had a chance to see yet. This is not really a comedy. There are definitely funny elements and funny moments, but this is much closer to a coming of age, slice of life, straight drama piece. Um, I really like this overall. Basically, our protagonist tells his parents that he has gotten this writing scholarship and he's going to go off into a different state and, just write this book that he's gotten this big grant to do. The problem is that that is a lie and he did not get this grant. And he just wants an excuse to move out. And he quickly realizes he's got to get money somehow. He's got to feed himself. And he ends up working at a restaurant, and that's where the majority of this film takes place, with Anthony Bourdain working at this guy's restaurant. This guy, Antonio Banderas, also known as Puss in Boots, Mr. Piss and Shoe over here, gives a really great performance. They have a kind of student-mentor relationship that develops that I thought was really interesting. Our protagonist is very much kind of an asshole. He's not really a likable guy. He's kind of going after a girl that's already taken. He's very pretentious, arrogant, even about stuff that he doesn't really know all that much about. And though it's definitely pulling at your heartstring because you see this troubled teen that can't get by and is, living in poverty, there are definitely times where I was rooting against the character rather than for him. That's not to call this a bad film. I've seen many people criticize it, saying the character is too unlikable. I don't think an unlikable character makes for a bad film. I mean, a shitty person becoming a slightly better person is, a pretty established character arc because it's a good character arc. It's something that people, do go through in real life. And I really like the direction that this film ultimately takes and the lessons we learn over the course of the story. Oh man, this is octopus flavor spicy ramen. I went back to work today after summer vacation, and they're making us come in early. I didn't have time to eat breakfast. I didn't have time to eat lunch. I'm starving, so I thought, why not eat food while I'm talking about the chef movie, Um, and there is lots of cooking in this. I don't know a whole lot about, I cook food, but I couldn't tell you much about the culinary arts. A big point of conflict for our character here is he wants to be a writer, and he's stuck this whole movie basically working as a chef when that's not something he has any interest in being. And I think the film really delves into this idea. It takes it seriously, this battle between having such a concrete idea for your life's purpose or what you want to do in life, and maybe it takes you a different direction, and maybe you find something you're surprisingly good at or something you enjoy that you weren't really, that knowledgeable on before. I like what this film ultimately has to say. The chef of the kitchen here is probably my favorite character. Anthony Bourdain's coworker that he meets at the restaurant is kind of an earlier mentor for him. He's a bit more of an asshole character. He's addicted to drugs. He is really not a good person. And he stands as sort of a pseudo foil to our head chef over here. But every character in this has a compelling arc. I was initially not sold on the romance subplot, and there was a couple times where I was a bit worried about the direction that it was going. But I really like where that ultimately lands too. I don't really know anything about Anthony Bourdain. I can't tell you how accurate this is to the Kitchen Confidential series. From what I've read, it's not accurate at all. But as a story, I thought this was really good. I thought it was compelling. I thought the characters were great. It has these like summer vibes, and I'm watching it as my summer's ending. We're out at a restaurant by the water. It's a coming of age movie, you know, and I think those are some of the most relatable stories you can tell because it's something that every person alive goes through. We all transition from childhood to adulthood. We all have big choices we have to make. We all have things that don't go the way we want. We all have relationships that mold us and, you know, kind of inform who we are as a person and who we're going to be. And I see people say that this is, you know, not doing anything new. I don't think it needs to. Everything it's doing, it does great. And I feel like it is told in an interesting way. There are elements that caught me off guard. There's certain times we veered in a slightly different direction than I was expecting. And I mean, coming of age stories, they always work on me, but I think this is still a great one. I gave Tony, well, let me get some more scoops of the ramen here. Oh, a good movie is like a good meal. Just, it doesn't have to be something insane. Sometimes it just has to hit the spot. And Tony did hit the spot. I gave it a 5 out of 6. A very good film.